In an attempt to subvert the validity of our national elections, radical anti-American forces comprised by foreign nationals, Democrats, and Republican politicians, disenfranchised citizens, and financed by socialist billionaires have launched a multifaceted campaign to subvert and destroy the homeland. To fully understand the nature and scope of this operation, a multi-tiered breakdown is necessary. Finance. Self-contained communist George Soros has invested billions of dollars in financing and coordinating support to multiple levels of the operation. Funneling currencies through numerous offshore accounts and shell companies, the Communist Party of China has dedicated finance and intelligence into the operation by using deep cover agents and embassies within the United States, as well as signal and electronic warfare. Propaganda. Disinformation is a crucial part. By distorting fact from fiction, it is easier to allow the internalized population to mistrust and subvert all attempts made by the rightfully elected government of the people. Mainstream media, fueled by radical ideology and funded by the very sources as listed above, continue their campaign of a constructed narrative in an attempt to keep the population afraid and fragile. Separation is an imperative in maintaining the narrative. Elected officials. Deep instilled hatred and finance provide powerful motivation to discredit a unified government. Continual congressional hearings and speculation shatter public opinion of the executive branch. Legislation subversion put into law systems designed to oppress the population and devalue our nation's elections. Unrelenting attempts and control mechanisms are in place that allow for population control, censorship, and restrictions of liberty. This poses one of the most serious issues to the continuation of our republic. Deceit and betrayal from within seek to maintain a corrupt power system within our branches of government. Distraction. Civil distress, riots, arson, and harassment all seek to isolate, distract, and force a mandate of control. Control of message, direction, and intent. While low-level foot soldiers motivated by greed and a lust for limited power, the graver threat exists from the upper echelons. A highly coordinated and controlled insurrection has divided public opinion. Race, gender, societal makeup, and ideology provide the fuel needed for this national conflict. Disregard for the rule of law, distrust in congressional systems, corruption, subversion, greed, and a lust for power drive America to the brink of civil war. Internalized warfare must be avoided by any and all means. I fear our hand will be pushed towards an inevitable path for which we cannot escape. Herein lies the most sizable problem a nation in conflict, distrustful and fearful, is susceptible to foreign influence. By means of direct or indirect actions, the principles of the Republic function on the basis of rules of law, and respect for constitutional principles is disregarded. Seek to divide and fracture, allow for socialist communist systems to control to be implemented without public knowledge. One of the greatest pressing matters of this republic is the lack of information. Information drives direction, focus, and resolve. The message being persuaded by the enemies of liberty, dishonest and repulsive, is that there is something fundamentally wrong with our nation. This sentiment hallmarks the retaliation experienced by our president and all freedom-loving patriots of our country. We must prepare. Critical supply chains, communication resources must be stockpiled at the individual level. In the event of collapse, this will serve as the basis for reunification. There is an old quote, "Patience is a virtue." Nevermore has this been as forthright. The conditions have been set. The pieces are strategically positioned. D-Day has been set. Commit to no action without direction from our president. The message, if needed, if democracy and thoroughly established systems fail, will come by manner of emergency broadcast being broadcast to all electronic forms of communication. I pray for the sanctity of our republic that this should never occur. Patience, preparation, and diligence.